Because someone in the comments wanted to go back and forth with me on if ArcheAge was an MMO, if it was going to have PvP, because of an article he read so long ago but didn't cite his sources. He decided to go ahead and do that. I told him I'm not going to read his comment because he wrote a long ass egregious comment that I just didn't feel like reading, and that's different because I love reading. I read to you guys every day when I read patch notes and read articles. Matter of fact, we're about to read an article right now that's longer than his comment, just to show how petty I am. ArcheAge is still an MMO. Yes, ArcheAge Chronicles is still an MMO, even XL Games isn't calling it one. I said previously that New World of Tournament did the same thing. This person's coming to the same exact conclusion. Like, I'm not dumb when it comes to me saying this stuff. I'm not saying this out of my ass, bro. Like, I know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's jump into this article. ArcheAge Chronicles, formerly known as ArcheAge 2, was officially announced and unveiled during yesterday's State of Play, and one aspect of the announcement has been a sticking point for interested fans. Is it an MMO? This confusion isn't helped by the simple fact that yesterday's accompanying post on the PlayStation blog, executive producer Youngjin Ham, probably mispronouncing that again, I'm very sorry, repeatedly calls ArcheAge Chronicles an online action RPG. You've heard this before, you're not alone. We've been dealing with this confusion and genre shifting recently with Amazon's New World of Tournament, which is also being mostly called an online ARPG. Now, if you played the New World beta, it still says it's an online action RPG, but what can you do in that game? You can play with multiple other players spanning across the entire field, numbered in the hundreds. That's an MMORPG. Anyway, going forward, is ArcheAge Chronicles an MMO? Simply put, ArcheAge Chronicles is an MMO, regardless of what marketing buzzword, because it is a buzzword. Online action RPG is a buzzword, just like Amazon used it when they labeled out New World of Tournament. It's a buzzword. Oh, I'm worked up for this for no reason. Kakao or XL Games has determined to use instead. Looking at both Steam and Epic Game Store pages, the term MMORPG is used multiple times to describe the experience players can look forward to, and in fact, stating the mechanics mechanics on offer will transcend traditional MMORPG gameplay. But it's still going to be an MMORPG. You're still going to be playing with multiple players. There's still going to be multiple players on the screen. There's still going to be open cities. It's touted to be an open world game. Therefore, MMORPG. What are you not getting, bro? Okay, anyway. And I know he's going to watch this video and he's going to be like, well, I'm right anyway because I read this one article. I don't care. You didn't cite your sources. Yet on the PlayStation blog, I'm definitely like hype on this today right now. Yet on the PlayStation blog, yesterday's press release sent to us and others, as well as welcome letter to the Steam page. XL Games clearly trying to get players to see it as an online action RPG, while some simply won't care about the label, which personally, okay. So he parentheses that part out. So okay, I can't take it or leave it as is because it gives me what I want about the ArcheAge game. Okay. For others, this is an incredibly important tag, especially in a genre whose death has been, and quote unquote death, we've been lamenting for years. Because everybody likes to say MMORPGs is dead, but across all the MMORPGs that are out right now, there are millions of players. Actual millions of players still playing some of the oldest MMORPGs. People are still playing RuneScape right now, bro. The MMORPG is not dead. Like, the genre is not dead. They're just super spread out because of all the games that are out now. Before, there were like probably 10 MMORPGs when we had crappy computers. 10 actual MMORPGs that people wanted to play when we had crappy computers. Now there's like 50 MMORPGs out there that everybody's spread throughout the whole genre. It's simple as that. Anyway, indeed, within minutes of yesterday's announcements, posters on both MMORPG and ArcheAge subreddits brought up the exact question. Here on our forums, it was the first question asked on our coverage by readers. It's an important distinction for longtime fans of the game, especially now when you're seeing yet another high-profile MMORPG move to console and change the language which it is described. Why online action RPG? When we asked our Kakao PR contact yesterday about why is it being described as an online action RPG instead of MMO, we're pointing back to the press release with a comment that more details about the online and multiplayer components will be coming soon. Kakao and XL Games seem poised to continue this use of online action RPG moniker to describe ArcheAge Chronicles, with fans speculating this could simply be because of the console's audience. Generally what I said in my last video. Indeed, when Amazon was trying to play defense following its June announcement for New World of Tournament, one of the things game director Scott Lane said in the Q&A is that was that that ARPG is a little more well known on console. Like console players know the term ARPG, so when you tack on the word online ARPG behind it, they'll know what they're running into. Something a shift in the language, because when you hear MMORPG as a console, like as most console players don't have MMORPGs to play like outside of like the ones that are on console right now, and not a lot of them play those because they don't like the term console. They don't like the term MMORPG for whatever reason. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but whatever. When they see things like ARPG, they're like, "Oh my god, it's action!" Because MMORPG generally stands for target, like tab target. That's what people are used to when they hear the term MMORPG. They're used to tab targeting. They're used to those type of gameplays. That's what they're trying to stay away from. That's my guess, at least. That's the only thing I'm guessing right here. Sibling shift in language could be due to the fact that an MMORPG might push console players away. Exactly what I said. Literally right there. I didn't even get to finish reading. I didn't even read this before, by the way. I'm reading this as I'm reading this to y'all. How Nexo Games could very well be thinking the same thing as the posters on Reddit suggest. So there's more people out there with sense than me. Thank you. Because I was getting worried for a minute, bro. When you consider large-scale open world and more MMOs, she's reading to read MMORPG. Open world MMOs have been on console for quite some time now. I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy 11, Black Desert, and even Elder Scrolls Online. Why didn't you mention Final Fantasy 14, among others? But he says among others. Okay. There's a certain sense of mental gymnastics you have to fully describe. You have to fully you have to do to fully describe this feeling that console players will be put off. However, I don't have the data that these large companies will be looking for when looking at when making these decisions. And I know exactly what he's saying because I have the same information, like I have the same statement in my head. I just can't explain it correctly without having the numbers there. Everything that ArcheAge Chronicles apparently will have to offer screams MMO to me as well. From its raids to its housing, like why would you have never mind. Crafting, player trading, you can apparently form town-like communities with housing, as well as boss fights as with at least up to 10 players that we know of right now. Ham also mentions that PlayStation blog announcement that Chronicles will feature large-scale raids, which you typically not get outside of MMO-ish game. So, jumping off of that real quick, Wayfinder was probably the one game where we had a promised raid system, which that fell off anyway. But we were supposed to get a raid system in the future where you could play, you can go, like you were supposed to be able to go into the open world or the open map and raid against the boss, but we didn't get that because Wayfinder fell off. And that was touted as an online ARPG as well. But Wayfinder was more of an MMO with an instance background to it. Like that's all Wayfinder was. It wasn't a traditional MMO. It wasn't a traditional MMO in the sense, and that's why like it doesn't hold the MMO title itself. In my opinion, these are hallmarks of what makes MMO, not necessarily online action RPG. Which, when I think of it, is still Path of Exile and Diablo more than anything, which is true. Simply semantics. At the end of the day, this could be simply semantics as posited. Is that a word? Because I don't even know if that's a word. Like, is it posted? I think you meant posted. I'll look that up later. Posted. I'm gonna say posted for now because I don't think. Let me actually. I have my phone right here. Give me 1 second. Is posited a word? He did. It is a word. Okay, cool. I did not know that because I just thought he like typed the I in there. Now I know a new word. As I posited in my very similar post about New World Eternum, whether it's labeled as an online action RPG or MMO doesn't change the game itself. For many people who are out there, that's what matters the most. However, the fact that it was one of the first questions I saw here and on Reddit and more signals that it matters to a lot of fans out there. And the fact that yet another high-profile developer in this space is refusing to call their game an MMO outright is concerning for some. And that should be taken into account when we look at the discourse as a whole. For a genre that has felt to many that it's been on the death throes for a while, a shift away from calling it what it clearly is an MMO, just that it is a signal that MMOs might not be as relevant as we'd like to, as we like in the grand scheme of things. Like I said, back when we were in like the late 2000s, well, I'm calling it late 2000s because it's like 2008, 2009, 2010. When I first started gaming, like when I first got my first laptop and started playing like Fiesta Online, Dragon and stuff like that. Well, 2016, I mean 2006 really. So back in those days, back between 2006 and like plus up to like 2010, we had crappy computers. We had like probably 20 MMOs out there. There was probably more, to be honest. But we all had crappy computers back then. So like everybody was kind of focused on the games they could play without their computer exploding. But now we're in freaking 2024. We have these hyped up, built up, damn near supercomputers in our homes that we could play 3 or 4 games on at a time, and everybody's spread out across all those 50 games that are. There's probably like more than 50 MMOs out there. I'm just throwing random numbers out there. Don't count me on those numbers, bro. But there's a ton of MMORPGs out there that people are playing. Like the entire MMORPG community is spread across a vast web of just games that are out there. Not everybody's in one game. That's why we can't really say MMORPGs are dead, because the community is spread so far. That's like saying anime is dead, or that's like saying card games are dead, when the card game community is spread across like so many card games. There's Pokemon, there's Yu-Gi-Oh, there's Digimon, there's Vanguard, there's Magic. Like there's so many card games out there that people are playing right now. There's so many other things that people are doing right now. They're not in the same web of things. The only game that's right now that's like dominating is the gacha game Genshin Impact, for whatever reason. Oh god, I hate Genshin. Anyway, I personally don't feel that. But I completely understand the sentiment. It'll be interesting if the language evolves around ArcheAge Chronicles as development hurdles towards its planned 2025 release across all platforms. I'll be curious if we see change on in how upcoming game is described to its PC audience versus the console audience XL Games is looking to capture. As always, we're interested in your thoughts here, as especially as we've seen this happen twice in a single calendar year. Do you care how it's described? Or blah, blah, blah. Okay. So honestly, in the comments, let me know. Do you care how ArcheAge is described? If it's a MMORPG or if it's an online ARPG? Like, do you actually care about the monikers? Like, do you really honestly care about the monikers? Like, I personally don't, but people would like to come at me and say, "Oh, you're saying MMORPG when it's not," and I'm like, bro, like you're arguing with me for no reason, because generally when it comes to stuff like this, I'm right. Not unequivocally right, but when I know what I know, I know what I know. Let's say that. And so that's the point I'm at right now. Like, I just want like to know, do you guys care if I label things MMORPGs? If it's not labeled as MMORPG when it's announced, I won't label it as that, as because you guys are my community right now. Whoever's here watching, if you're subscribed, you're a part of my community. So if you care, let me know. If you care, if I label things as MMOs, that aren't labeled as MMOs out the box, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the future. It's been forever, and I'll catch you in another video. Peace.